Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the heathen, nor sitteth in the seat that is scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in this law does he hideth it sunrise and sundown. Him I go dear like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in his season. Him leaf never I go wither, and whatsoever him doeth shall prosper. Yea! The heathen them now they saw them dear like a chaff with the wind driveth away. Therefore the heathen them never go stand upon judgment that the sin among them in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord God Jah loveth the way of the righteous and the way of the sin among them always and always. I go perish. Oh, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the heathen. Oh, let the people of the Most High God dwell in the shadow of the Most High God, and the presence of the Almighty shall continue to be with I and I. And I give thanks, and I give thanks. Oh, Mauso Belisa, akpe kaka, akpesia. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunumo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk. RASTA. Now in every traditional African home there is a black pot. And each time this black pot sits on the fire there is something sumptuous cooking. Hey, once the black pot finds itself on top of the fire, ingredients of so many different types, colors, sizes, flavors, aromas, find themselves inside the black pot, putting aside all differences. They are subjected to some amount of heating, and then one homogeneous product known as food is produced. Now this food does not benefit the black pot, neither does it benefit the ingredients. It benefits us. When it's food time, it's time for the family to come together in peace, love, and unity. My brother, my sister, now the black pot represents the continent of Africa, while the ingredients represent us as the people. We must put aside our various differences, relocate into the black pot, be subjected to some amount of sacrifice, and then we will produce one homogeneous product known as development for our people, our continent, our land. So many people are so selfish, they don't want to plant trees. They are only interested in planting one season crops, like maize, like pepper, like onion. Oh gosh, they harvest after just a few days, eat, sleep, die, go and be forgotten. They are not ready to plant trees because they know that they will not live long enough to sit under the shade of these trees. Yet, when they go out and the sun is shining brilliantly, they are looking for trees to sit under. Who planted those trees? Those visionaries who lived before us. Those visionaries who were generational thinkers, who did not live long enough to enjoy the shade of the trees, but they provided shade for us by planting the trees. We must be that Joshua generation. We must be that generation of tree planters, selfless. This is the black pot, aka Kukushunumo, where we speak truth to power. Here we don't criticize. But if we must criticize, yes, we will criticize on one condition, only to build and not to destroy. Hey, listen. This is in the service of God and country, and we are live on Pan-African TV, Africa's only Pan-African TV. Same way we are live on Ghana Web TV, live on Loud Silence TV, and loud on our own TV, the Black Empire TV. Pick up our numbers on the screen. Do business with us. The more you prosper, the more we prosper too. And you will get the fire, the energy to continue doing what we are doing. Here we don't do politics. What we do is called patriotism. We rewire the mindset of our people. We make sure that our people are up to the task. My brother, my sister, this is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunumo. And here we speak truth to power. Now, the very first story I would like to look at today is interesting. What does it say? Duncan Williams out as Reverend KUSI BOATENG mess piles up. How do you hear it again? Duncan Williams out as Reverend KUSI Boateng mess piles up. This is Reverend KUSI Boateng. This man here is a politician. This man here is a businessman. This man here is gradually losing the respect that God gave him. Now, when God blesses you and you take the blessing for granted, every Tom, Dick, and Harry will spit in your face. That is what is happening to this man. I'll tell you something. Keep his photograph there. Watch me, Reverend. This is a prophet of God. People who know him know that. In fact, he was raised by Reverend Owusu Bempah in the prophetic. Now remember that they both came out of Kumasi. And Reverend Owusu Bempah was one of the pioneers of the prophetic from Kumasi and also in this country. He raised this man. His father was killed in the days of the PNDC. And for that matter, he developed some unforgiving, unrelenting hatred for anything that has to do with the PNDC or the NDC. My brother, my sister, you cannot decide for a man how he should feel. But bitterness, rancor, the Bible itself tells us that we must not let our anger be on us, oh my God, till the sun comes down. Did I quote that right? Yes, anger should not be kept aloft all the way till the light becomes dark or dusk and it falls on us. In other words, do not be angry for too long. That's simple. That's what it means. Hey, hear me now. This man here was raised by Reverend Owusu Bempah. Now, Reverend Owusu Bempah became the official prophet of the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo. We all saw him anointing the president. We saw him saying a lot of wonderful things about the nation and about this president. We remember he heralded the coming of this president and told us that with Nana Akufo-Addo's presidency, Ghana was going to be ushered into some kind of prosperity. In fact, if this is the prosperity that he prophetically talked about, I do not want to be part of this prosperity. Ghanaians have suffered most under Nana Akufo-Addo for a very long time. Unprecedentedly, this president has ushered us into a period of nothing but suffering. Hear me now. Reverend Owusu Bempah brought up this man known as Reverend Victor KUSI Boateng. He's a renowned prophet. In fact, when you go to Zimbabwe, he's known. Makandiwa is one of the biggest prophets in Zimbabwe. I was with Makandiwa when I went on the invitation of Robert Mugabe, the great president. And what happened? He met with me and he was asking me about Reverend Victor KUSI Boateng. Ghana, powerful. That's my father. Oh, Angel, Hubert, Angel, and some other such people. My brother, my sister, all owe allegiance to this wonderful man of God. Unfortunately, he has messed up, soiled his name. Now, how did they fall apart? Reverend Owusu Bempah and his son, Reverend Victor KUSI Boateng. Listen, now, Reverend Owusu Bempah became overly arrogant. In fact, he went around threatening people. We all saw some of his pastors wielding guns and claiming that nobody could arrest them because they had become above the law. Now, the president was embarrassed by this. Remember, we all called for the arrest of Reverend Owusu Bempah because he had gone to threaten Agrada. And he even said to journalists on tape that if Agrada was not arrested, nobody could arrest him in Ghana. That was overly arrogant. We didn't want to live in a country that lawless. Bam! Reverend Owusu Bempah was arrested. My schoolmate, in fact, he was my classmate at Tia Ahmadiya Secondary School. But he was becoming arrogant. And we called for his arrest. He was arrested. He understands it now that he was getting too swollen-headed because he was a man who had a leeway into the corridors of the president. Hear me now. Now, whilst Owusu Bempah was arrested, and he was right there inside the hospital, chained to his hospital bed, with police surrounding him, and Dan Parry giving the orders to his boys to make sure that Owusu Bempah did not escape. Remember, he was arrested and was behind bars. He fell ill. They had to bring him to the hospital, but they chained him to his bed like a common criminal. When he was going through all, he saw where power laid. What did he do? He thought about how he could free himself from this. He called the president. He did not answer. Hey, what was happening? Then somebody hinted him. Oh, the IGP, Dampare, and the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Baumia, are right there at Reverend Victor KUSI Boateng's house. And Owusu Bempah said, oh, hallelujah, that's my little son. I will call him, and through him, I can speak with the Vice President, and this predicament that I'm going through might just be alleviated. He called Reverend KUSI Boateng over and over. According to him, he refused to answer. Over and over, he called, said, oh, my son, me watch me and me flower unfa phone no. Oh, me frere kosiaga in his own words. So he started thinking, have they all of a sudden shifted from me and gone for my son? Of course, at the time that Reverend Owusu Bempah was praying for the president, and he was the official prophet of the president, Reverend KUSI Boateng was also in the periphery praying. Now they had all of a sudden pushed away Reverend Owusu Bempah, and then they went for Reverend KUSI Boateng. And Reverend KUSI Boateng was not ready to be used to free Reverend Owusu Bempah. That was how they broke apart. But hear me now. This man is a businessman. He made his money before he became known as a man of God. He's a businessman. I like people like that who work, because even Jesus Christ had a day job. But some people say full-time ministry, and they are always looking at the numbers so that they can count the collection, better still the offering, and then they can also look at the 10%. You know what that is? The tithe. So when they go to church and the number is not that huge, they start crying in their stomach because they know that day the offering will be low. But they are not God. Sometimes you have only 2 people. What the 2 people can give to the church, 100 people cannot even do it. Imagine Dangote goes to church. And then you have people like, I won't mention names, right there, 100 of them. Even if you shake them, turn them upside down and shake them, only stones and coins will fall down. My brother, my sister, Reverend KUSI Boateng has disgraced the president, disgraced the cathedral. What has he done? 2 names, 2 different mothers, 2 different things. And right now, he holds 2 different identities. And instead of finding a way to sort out this, instead of coming out to boldly say, oh yes, it was actually a mistake, or I have faulted and I'm ready to give myself to the law, he is trying to use urchins and vultures, political dogs, my brother, my sister, who keep backing and trying to defend the indefensible. It hurts me when people reduce themselves to a certain level that anybody can step on them. They are so gullible. They are bootlickers. They absolutely have no respect. And these are the people on TV. People like Paul Adomoche. I don't like it when I say people. I want to go straight to them. See how Paul Adomoche all of a sudden has become some kind of, I don't know. All of a sudden, he wants to defend everything. I like to see people defend things wisely. But you come on TV and try to defend something that is nothing but rotten. Oh, Supreme Court said this, Supreme Court said that. Hey! In which country in the world would a man have 2 such identities, different dates of birth, and you are still trying to defend that? How? 2 different identities. The man of God should bow down his head in shame. Well, Adumochiri and the rest try to play the mind game and try to be wiser than everybody. But Duncan Williams said, no, sir, I've been in this business for far too long. I prayed for the dollar to fall so that the city will be stable. I was the one who prayed for the Ghana city to rise above the dollar. Today, I see in the spirit, my spirit is not feeling good. What is happening at the cathedral there is not good. He decided that he will leave. And he took along his son, Eastwood Anaba. Hey, listen, if Duncan Williams decides to walk out of the cathedral is history. A lot of the people, my brother, my sister, who follow him, come, I'll tell you more. A lot of the people, my brother, my sister, who are supporting this cathedral, owe a lot of allegiance to Duncan Williams, Archbishop, the son of Benson Idahosa. My brother, my sister, hear me. Watch it. Duncan Williams, Eastwood Anaba, called for suspension of National Cathedral construction until independent audit. And I'm going to read just a few lines. Listen with rapt attention. Two eminent clergymen and members of the Board of Trustees of the controversial National Cathedral project have called for its immediate suspension and audit. The two, Archbishop Duncan Williams and Reverend Eastwood Anaba, say their call is based on the controversy surrounding the project. According to them, the suspension would pave the way for transparency and accountability to be provided to the Ghanaian people. In a memo sent to the Board of Trustees on Monday, a couple of days ago, January 23, and cited by myjoyonline.com, they called for independent audit into the expenditure of the project. Are you building a brothel? Are you building a house of drugs? And it's so laced with so much controversy and debt. What a smelly cathedral. Watch me. Now, the two respected preachers said the auditor or auditors must be one that is nationally recognized, that in the spirit and cause of transparency and accountability to the Ghanaian people, the current Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral shall appoint an independent, nationally recognized accounting firm to audit all public funds contributed to and spent by the National Cathedral. Auditors would also audit the overall cost of the project. This appointment of an auditor shall take place before the deferment of activities of the Board of Trustees, except of the memo said. Meanwhile, the two Bible scholars also said the project should not continue until the economic conditions in the country is improved. Hallelujah. 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 Did you see that? Hey, he says what? Meanwhile, the two scholars, Bible scholars, the two theologians, the two Bible people also said the project should not continue until the economic conditions in the country is improved. The current activities advancing the construction of Ghana's national cathedral shall be deferred until the atmospherics in Ghana are improved and the audit of the cathedral account is done, except of the Momo said dash. And come. Hey! Did you see that? Was this not what we were looking for? Hey! Hey, Archbishop Duncan Williams was lampooned into the whole thing. Archbishop Duncan Williams was told that, hey, we are not going to use the public funds for that. We are going to use the people's money for that. Which people? The people of the church. Who are these people of the church? The church. The church will voluntarily contribute to build this church. And Archbishop Duncan Williams smiled and said, oh, then that's a good thing. At least we'll be exonerated from all the noise around. And he came out and said, why are people making so much noise? This thing that we are building, are we coming for your money? It's not the taxpayers' money. The money is coming from the church. Little did he know that this dirty government had already put its hand in the public purse and taken money Nicodemously, left, right, and center, building the dirty, smelly cathedral. Archbishop Duncan Williams, when he realized that this was what was happening, was so embarrassed. From that time, he went mum. All of a sudden, Prophet Victor KUSI BOATENG, the man who hears the voice of God, hey, was said to have 2 different identities, and one of his companies that is directly related to the cathedral, in money from the cathedral. And the interesting thing is that no tax was ever or paid for that company, JNS Talent. If you're not a thief, what are you? And you don't want us to say it. If you are not a thief, why must we have 2 identities? 2 different dates of birth, 2 different mothers, 2 things. So, oh, if you are rising to the top, you must fight demons. I'm one of those demons. Fight me. Fight me. Hey, the Bible says that the devil is like the roaring lion. But it's not a lion. It's a roaring lion. It's like a roaring lion. It's not a lion. There's only one lion. The Lion of the tribe of Judah. Some people look like they are, but they are not. Reverend KUSI BOATENG, I'm wondering how you'll be able to remove yourself from this entanglement. I am wondering. I am wondering. Controversies all over. Come here. Watch this. Blakk provides due evidence contradicting KUSI BOATENG's 2.6 million loan claims. Do you remember Joyce Ayi? I think the church is called Salt and Pepper and Fish and Kobe Church or something. I don't remember. But I remember Salt and Kobe and Momoni Church. Momoni Church. You see, where you have entangled yourself in some debt, smelly Momoni. Watch this. She was the one who came out and said, oh, the man gave us a loan at a time that we needed the money. And bring a photograph so I can show to the world who I'm talking about. This woman has always been a woman of so much respect. All of a sudden, she got entangled in this dirty, smelly Momoni cathedral. I have information that when they have their meetings, hey, they eat like kings. You know, a lot of these so-called men of God, they have pot bellies. Big fat bellies is food, nothing more. They hardly fast. They will give fasting to their church members. 100 days fasting. Power of the night. Hey, Jesus fasting. 600 days. Yet they themselves cannot even fast for 30 minutes. They fast for 30 minutes and their stomach starts dancing. All because some things are knocking things and running helter-skelter in the alimentary canal. Hallelujah. That's it. She said the man of God gave a loan to the cathedral to pay for some things. And after that, boom, they have to pay back the money to him. So let's see the evidence that contradicts what this beautiful woman said. The member of parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, has released new images of what he says is evidence that the JNS Talent Center received an amount of 3.5 million from the National Cathedral Secretariat to supply it with paper towels. Did you hear that? Paper towels. What we call tissue. According to the MP, who has been on a recent campaign to uncover some alleged corrupt and dubious actions of the secretary to the board of trustees of the National Cathedral, Reverend KUSI BOATENG, this new detail makes matters worse for the preacher. Earlier, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa had provided documents to the effect that JNS Talent Center, owned by a certain Kwabena Edu Jemfi, is only an alliance of Reverend KUSI BOATENG. In this latest document, the National Democratic Congress NDC MP said that the details show that indeed the amount of 3.5 million Ghana cedis that was received by the JNS Talent Center was not a loan, but money for the supply of some items. This, he added, is contrary to earlier claims made to the effect that the amount given to the company was a loan from the National Cathedral Secretariat. Evidence secured of how the ubiquitous, how the ubiquitous JNS Talent Center Limited, secretly and dubiously owned by Kwabena Edujemfi, aka Reverend Victor KUSI BOATENG, received a staggering 3.5 million Ghana cedis of Ghana's COVID-19 cash to supply paper towels. This further complicates his cathedral loan claims. The MP wrote on Twitter. It will be recalled that the executive director of the cathedral project, Dr. Paul Opoku-Mensah, earlier explained that an amount of 2.6 million was paid to JNS Talent Center Limited because it was an interest-free loan. The company helped it secure to meet some contractual obligations in 2021. We had signed a contract. We were supposed to pay them, the contractors, mobilization. That was part of the seed money from the state, and the state had actually transferred the money to the Minister of Finance, but the Controller and Accountant General had asked for some time to pay. We had already kind of postponed this payment to the contractors, so a board member said he could help us top up because he had some money and we could just top it off to pay the contractors, he stated. This is what Blakk wrote. And there are two documents to show. You see those two documents hiding there? Look at it. And what do you see there? Eh? Look at it. The payment. Look at the amount. Paid for the supply of paper towels. My brother, my sister, this is a dirty government using a dirty prophet to be able to do their dirty work. Watch this. So Duncan Williams is so embarrassed. He's asking himself, how did I get myself into this dunamis of shame? It is crazy. It is crazy. Duncan Williams is out for one reason. Controversy, 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 and all those controversies are smelling like the Momoni and Salt and Kobe Church. Dash it away. Now the next thing I would like to look at is rolling on your screen. And what does it say? Michael Blackson impresses again. Is it Blackson? Michael Blackson impresses again. This is him. Remember, it's not Michael Jackson. And it's not Michael Blackson. It's Michael Blackson. And that's him. He's very dark. He dances like Michael Jackson. He's a guy that I love. He came from America recently, built a whole big school in his area, that is the school there, in his hometown, and decided that he would make students go to school for free. And that's what he did. Listen, if you call him for an interview, he tells you, well, I would like to do the interview, but do me a favor, donate to my school, where people are going to school for free. It doesn't matter how much you want to donate. It could be some food, it could be some clothing. Somebody would enjoy that. I will come for the interview. Such a selfless man. But it looks like he has a stronger and deeper appetite for philanthropy. Watch this. Michael Blackson, to combat unemployment by building a factory for 10,000 graduates. Jesus have mercy. Ha! He's going to be employing 10,000 unemployed people. My brother, do you know what it means to say you are employing 10,000 people? This man has already built a school. We have no doubt that he can do it. Michael Blackson has made known his intentions to lower graduate unemployment in the nation by building a factory that will employ 10,000 graduates in Ghana, Nigeria, and Liberia. Pan-Africanism. Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia. Come here. In a tweet shared on January 20th, the actor disclosed that he was going to do so by asking for support from some people in the United States. He also added that he was going to build more schools for the less privileged in the country. I'm definitely building more schools for the less fortunate kids, but for the adults. I am definitely building more schools for the less fortunate kids, but for the adults, I am thinking about a few things. Like what? I will talk to some folks in the United States and see if we can build a huge factory that could employ about 10,000 or more college graduates in Ghana, Nigeria, and Liberia. He tweeted, dash it away. Hey, when he built the school, you know what he said that taught me? Michael Blackson said, all the people who bought tickets to come and watch me perform in the United States and all over the world, this is to you. This is to you. My brother, my sister, all the people who bought tickets to come and see me perform, is from that money that I'm building this. In fact, in the United States, people will take him serious. People know that when they even go to his comedy show and sit down, they are not truly enjoying him. They will by all means enjoy him because they know that whatever money he's making will go to build the world again. Not in Ghana. Our artists and creatives make the money and wear big dog chains around their neck, insulting other people who have not been able to reach there yet, as if it was their fault, flaunting their wealth, yet they cannot even clean a single gutter in Nima. Pay the youth to even go and clear some weeds to read Nima, Ashaiman, and some other such places around Ghana of mosquitoes and snakes. This guy does not live in Ghana. He lived in Ashaiman for so long. Went to the United States. Got into comedy. Hollywood recognized him. And his investments are not in the United States. In fact, he's here to do philanthropy. This is what we call common sense. Recently, when he brought some things into the country to help people, in fact, the duty on those things alone were huge. If this was a more serious country, if people ship in goods that are supposed to be used for charity work, they are not supposed to pay any duty on that. But no, here, whatever you ship in, you pay. He has defied all those odds and is out there working. My brother, my sister, come here. To Michael Blackson, I want to say that you have impressed me again. I tried to have an interview with you, but I do understand why you couldn't do the interview. You wanted me to donate to your school. I will do that donation when I make some money. If I'm coming to that school, I do not want to go there with one orange and one mango. I want to be able to come there in style. At least I should be able to bring 10 bags of rice, some oil, and some other such things. Because the work you are putting in, you have impressed me. I am proud of you. But another thing, I thank you for thinking about Liberia. I thank you for thinking about Nigeria. When Nkrumah was thinking about all those countries, they said he should look inside and forget about those countries. Nkrumah said, the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the whole of Africa. If only Ghana is liberated and the whole of Africa is not liberated, the unliberated people would find their way here. It's like light amidst darkness. All the insects in the darkness will gravitate towards the light. They will inundate the light, and Ghana will be overpopulated, and it will be meaningless. I thank you for thinking about the people. I appreciate you. I love you. As for those thieves in government whose only intention is to tax until they kill the poor man, as for the charlatans on the pulpit, the thieves who call themselves pastors, but they are never recognized as thieves. It's me and you, because of our beard like that. We don't shave, so we look like thieves. But they who have their sakura, they polish it with oil and it's always shining. They are better than us. Do you know what it means to say thief? My next quote will show you who a thief is. Hey! Wayo! This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, and here we speak truth to power. Next story. Shake up in NDC as Haruna exists. Wow. Haruna is out. He's been there for a long time. When he gets up to speak, you hear the heavy northern accent. When he gets up to speak, he smells of wisdom. When he gets up to speak, he smells of common sense. I like this guy. I really like him. In fact, he's a politician who has grown into his thing. And most of the time, he tries to fight rot. Some people have accused him in the past of so many other things. Generally, I don't like politicians. But with this man here called Haruna, for some time now, maybe because they are in opposition. When these guys are in opposition, they are our best friends. Yes, they are the poor man's best friends. But when they get into power, they look for the biggest Alsatian dogs and put them in their houses, surround the house with electricity, because they don't want you to get near them. They are all the same. Haruna is out. Another man is in. Who is this man? Atu Forsen replaces Haruna Idrisu as minority leader in parliament. This is another guy who's been punching holes. He's another brilliant guy. He worked in the finance ministry in the erstwhile John Dramani Mahama government. He's quite brilliant. He's in court over some ambulances and some other things like that. They are going on. Politicians, they can go to court till we all die and they are still in court. In fact, they can go to court, they themselves will grow old and die, and the case has not settled yet. Look at Wyoming. It's still ongoing. Ambulances. The Auditor General came out with a report that we spent millions of our money to import ambulances, and up till now they are not here. What a country. Eh? Why? Why? So this is the new guy there. And what is the story? Breaking. Kasel Atu Forsen takes over as minority leader. Why? The former Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Kassel Atu-Forson, has been appointed as the minority leader in the 8th Parliament of Ghana's 4th Republic. Kofi Amabua is also the Deputy Minority Chief Whip. Kwame Agboja takes over as Chief Whip. How did it happen? Ahmed Ibrahim, MP for Banda, has been maintained as the first Deputy Minority Chief Whip, while Comfort Doyo Kujo Gansa, MP for Adan, is the second Deputy Minority Chief Whip. This was contained in a letter to the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Barbin, from the National Democratic Congress, dated January 23, 2023. Stash it away. For some time now, we haven't been very, very happy with the minority leader. They passed a lot of things in Parliament that shocked us. Minority leader was sitting there when the vetting was going on for some of these dirty appointees to be in power. My brother, my sister, we all saw how they did some of these vettings. It was nauseous. Ajua Safo arrogantly went in there. Oh, she has a baby at home. For that matter, we won't take so long. It's a national duty. Could we do a vetting by Zoom? Could she bring her baby to the Parliament and feed the baby whilst talking? Or if we say that, they will say that feminists will come against us. We have to be reasonable and wise. They passed her. The fear that, in fact, we said we were experiencing came to pass. Ajua Safo performed abysmally, ran away to the United States, and in fact, she said that it was all about her family. She all of a sudden forgot Ghana first. 2 weeks in America was enough to make her change her accent. And when she returned, we expected that she would be kicked out. But no, this guy still sat in Parliament, majority, minority, and kept her in there. She's still there wasting our tax money. We saw how our Kumsen was also kept there, Minister of Fisheries. Now she's busily holding a wooden key and trying to lock the sea spiritually. These are the people. Minority could not whip, especially that we have a hung parliament. Haruna did not perform very, very well. He had lapses. Look at the number of issues that came to the Parliament. How did they handle those? Haruna came out to apologize to us that they made mistakes here and there, but they will fix those things. Once or twice they walk out of Parliament. So for me, it's a welcome decision. In fact, Haruna was probably too comfortable in that position. Sometimes we need to kick some people out and let them stay aside and let others come in. I am sad that Haruna sat down and let this great opportunity slip through his fingers, because it looks like this is what he wants to do all his life, politicking. This is a great opportunity for you who is nursing presidential ambitions. Now they've given you the minority head. You couldn't organize your people to lash out these people good. Why did they not give the minority thing to Okudzeto Blakk? Anyway, Cassiel is not bad. We wish you guys all the best. We are not politicians. Even if you bring a goat as the president of Ghana and he delivers and Ghanaians are happy, we will support the goat. We will not say because it's not our goat, we will not support. Every goat is a goat as long as the people are happy. When we return, we have more. Hey! Wayo!
Go on, Skipper George.
Blackpot. Coco show them.
This is the Black Pot. Yes, the Queen of Bahia. Of course, very controversial. Some people say from Benin, some say Nigeria, some even say from Brazil. Wherever you put her, it will not change anything. She was black and powerful. Yes, Louisa Mayen. She was Yoruba, Muslim, but she left all these religions because of how the slave master, saying that he was from those religions, treated African people. And she remained pagan, in quotes, all her life. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. Next action. Oppong NKRUMAH in COVID chop chop. Oppong NKRUMAH in COVID chop chop. Expose. Make it expose. Oppong NKRUMAH in COVID chop chop. Expose. You know who Oppong NKRUMAH is? You know him, right? He is the Minister of Information. In fact, he started off as a radio broadcaster, my colleague at Multimedia. He got the morning locked. Then he went into politics. In fact, he became the Deputy Information Minister. He was so brilliant. Then boom, he became the Information Minister. From that time till now, he's been holding that office. These days, he doesn't talk too much because he probably realized that they were talking so much and they were being used to clear some government dirty issues. Well, you can see this. And this is going to tell you what is happening. Hey, the Auditor General is doing a lot of exposés. Information Ministry paid itself 151,000 Ghana cedis as COVID-19 allowance for working during lockdown. This from the Auditor General. This is the Auditor General. Come here. It's interesting. The Auditor General, Johnson Equiamwa Asiedu, has directed that the Information Ministry refunds some 151,500 Ghana cedis to its own management and staff without approval. This was revealed in Mr. Asiedu's audit of COVID-19 transactions for the period March 2020 to June 2022. The development reportedly ensued in 2020 during the lockdown at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in Ghana. During our review, we noted that senior management staff and other supporting staff of the Ministry of Information paid themselves a total amount of 151,500 Ghana cedis as COVID-19 risk allowance for coming to work during the lockdown. The report stated. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? Now look at the reason they paid themselves that amount of money. President Akufo-Addo at the time had announced some incentives for frontline, that's the key word, frontline health workers, only health workers, including insurance and tax exemptions for doing their best to curb the virus's spread. As of now, some of the healthcare workers are reportedly yet to receive their share of the stipends. Dash. Can you believe that? When COVID-19 came, doctors were jumping over the fence at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. They didn't know exactly what it was. The research into it was still very, very topical. They didn't know much. All of a sudden, we had a scare that Ghana had some cases and doctors were running helter-skelter. They couldn't. Now people were dying. And the president in his own wisdom said, okay, health workers at this time, you are risking your life running into some kind of activity that you don't even have too much information about. Health workers were dying. Please, we'll give you some allowances, blah, 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 blah. By force, some of those health workers went on leave. Some of them left the country. Some of them even resigned because they preferred staying alive without money to taking the money and dying. This was the way the president encouraged the health workers to go out. And because Ministry of Information was also coming to work at that time to announce the figures and some other such measures in their offices, they said they should also be paid. We too are frontline workers. People are carrying sick people, COVID-19, carrying them. They are in direct contact with these people. You are in your offices. You want to be paid just like the nurses. They had no approval and they took the money. After all, it's chop chop for all. In the Ministry of NKRUMAH, Auditor General saw it and said, refund that money. If our people should go to jail, to refund is not enough. If you catch a thief, you don't ask the thief to return the money. After taking the money, take more and let the thief suffer more. Why did they do that? Lawlessness. No patriotism. Oh, we are also going to work. We too we are exposed to the danger. So we too they for pay we. Yeah, we to forget the money sum. You see? Dash it away. Come here. Last item and we are done. This is the last thing we are looking at. My brother, my sister, and this last thing I want us to look at. My brother, my sister, open your eyes, open your ears, and I tell you something. Watch this. There's an interesting thing I want to share with you. And I want us all to open our ears and eyes and listen and watch. When you look at the Auditor General's report, you would realize that a lot of Ghanaians have not been patriotic. I've said it on this show time and again, that it's all about patriotism. Nkrumah told us at independence that what? Now that you have your independence, we have to change our attitudes. That's the mindset. A contractor in Naleru got a contract to build a COVID-19 structure for 15 million Ghana cedis. They paid him 4.5 million. He did 10% of the work and ran away. They tried as much as possible to bring him to come to work. No, he will not come there. A pastor was paid how much? 3.5 million Ghana cedis to supply tissue paper. My brother, my sister, and this is the pastor today who is a member of the cathedral. The money that the pastor took, he never paid any tax. He never filed any tax, as alleged by Okudzeto Blakk, JNS Talent Center. Where is the patriotism? Where is the patriotism? Ministry of Information. Oh, if nurses are being paid money, we too, whether the president says we should take or not, we are taking. Lawlessness. This is a president who cannot remember anything. For that matter, we can all steal and everything is okay. My brother, my sister, if you look at that Auditor General report, you will see a lot of these things. Some chiefs were given money, 450,000 Ghana cedis, from an amount that they couldn't account for. Part of it went to the chiefs. For what? It's never been specified. So in this country, people can blow money left, right, and center without accounting for the thing. In the days of Rawlings, Some people were shot because they stole 12 cedis. In the days of Rawlings, some people went for loans. They couldn't pay. They were shot and killed. People like Feli. Today, my brother, my sister, we have made nonsense out of all that. We steal more. When is our time to serve? No, it's time to steal. My brother, my sister, it hurts me that we still have a long way to go. In fact, anytime I feel that we are so close to becoming a true nation of patriots, all of a sudden I realize that no, the journey is still far ahead. People are greedy. How much can you eat? How many rooms can you sleep in at a time? How much luxury do you really want? And a lot of these thieves who come into government to steal, their children become drunkards. They themselves die from cancer. They have erectile dysfunction. The money that they stole so they could have sex all their lives with as many women as they can. After 1 or 2, erectile dysfunction. Or they catch some disease whose name we cannot mention on radio. And they die like chicken. My brother, the change starts with you. If you have the opportunity, a lot of people are seen as angels only because they have no opportunity to steal. Until you truly have that opportunity and temptation is staring at you, please continue to stand firm and encourage yourself that no matter how hungry you are, you will never steal to feed yourself. Think about it. This is the Black Pot, aka Kokushonomo, where we speak truth to power. Because we speak the truth, it's so bitter. Not many people want to come around us, but we love it that we speak the truth. And because of the truth, some people will say they don't like us. But you do business with us. Pick our numbers on the screen. Talk to us. Let's do business. And let's make our country, our continent a better place. Until I see you again another time, on behalf of my wonderful team here at Black Empire Media, I would like to say I love you. I appreciate you. Hey! Wayo!